Okay.
For those who
what we do here is go back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. The Child of Mecha live stream. I am Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. Thank you for joining us this fine evening. We're going to finish out the week on a strong note, hopefully, and we're going to get some cool stuff done. We're going to look at a cool little book tonight, like we always do. But first, a few things, a few points of business to get out of the way first, as always. So, Chisel Discipline. If you guys have been watching this stream, you've heard me say that millions of times. The shirt came in today. It's in the washer right now as we speak. I will be wearing that tomorrow morning on the new episode of Gunpla Talk. And for those of you not aware, we're going to have a special guest, Aaron Simons, on. He's the 2018 Australian GBWC champion. He's going to come on, talk to us about the Australian GBWC, his experience, his modeling, his inspiration, the whole 9 yards. And then we're also going to check in with Zach, because Zach, basically he participated in his very first GBWC this year over in Korea. So he's going to tell us a little bit about that, how it went down. You know, he met up with everyone's good friend, Mr. Kawaguchi himself, and it should be a really fun way to hear the recap and everything. So join us tomorrow. Look up Zaku Aurelius' channel. If you're not subscribed already, you probably should be. And we're going to go live at 9 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. Check the link on the Gunpla Talk Facebook page for your local time. But we're going to do that tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. So please join us. It'll be a lot of fun. Tonight, though, I'm rocking the I Build Giant Robots retro shirt. One of my favorites, if I do say so myself. There's not enough yellow shirts in the world, I think. So if you're one of those people that just kind of wear monochromatic shirts, maybe black, gray, or shades of gray up to black, because I know there's a lot of you out there, think about getting a yellow shirt. It'll change your life. It really will. It's fun. Makes you feel like it's summertime. Put a smile on your face, too. So, but you can get this on childofmecha.com on the store. Hit it up. Lots of cool t-shirts, bags, hats, all sorts of stuff. So, also, too, all the tools and the book that we're going to be covering tonight are in a little Amazon link just below on the description under YouTube and on Facebook, and a little bit later on Twitch. And basically what that is a page that I have curated for all of you. I have sourced these tools and inspirational books and everything for you to use in your next project, so you can make sure that you get the right thing, or maybe you discover something that you might have not known even existed. So take a look at that. That helps the channel, and get some cool stuff. Get some awesome tools. Get some really cool books like the one we're going to go over here momentarily. Before we do that, though, we got to talk about this guy. This guy. You can win this guy. This is the perfect grade red frame ashtray red frame, whatever. And you can win it. One lucky winner will win that. But only if you donate to the Gunpla Talk fundraiser and giveaway. It goes to help the National Alopecia Areata Foundation. It's a GoFundMe fundraiser. One lucky donor will be chosen at random to win that very model. This one right here. Not something we're going to send to you from some store or some website. This one. There might be some other goodies in there for you. Just saying. So, no minimum to enter. Just give what you can. And if you're not in a position to be able to donate to the fundraiser, and we understand that because not everybody is in that position, all we would simply ask is for maybe a share. Maybe share it to your favorite Facebook group or your favorite fan page or something like that. So consider it. It's a good time, it's a good cause, and you can win a good model too. So think about that, and it goes to good stuff. But let's talk about the book tonight, because this particular book that I'm about to show you kind of has it all. It's got concept art, it's got graphic design, it's got iconography, heraldry, it's got, you know, weapon design and ship design, armor design, color combination ideas, the whole gambit, if you will. So let's switch over and I'll show you what I'm talking about soon. Here we go. So as you can see, this big old book, The Art of Destiny, the video game, I must admit that I have never played this game, but I absolutely adore the concept art and all of the kind of artistic mojo that went into it. So we're going to go through this, and we're going to kind of see what this is all about. Front page, or front cover, I should say. It's a nice hardbound book. You know, obviously you got the three Destiny heroes here. You've got some really cool ship designs on the back. And mind you, I don't know the names of these things because I don't play the game. So don't kill me. It is what it is. I just like the concept art and everything behind it. Another big book, too. This is definitely kind of like a coffee table book. This is pretty large in size. So we're going to try to get through this as best we can, but it's going to be a struggle here to keep it in frame. That's for sure. So let's get into this thing and see what we've got. You've got some forward information. Then you've got, it opens with kind of settings and environments and things like that. Very cool ideas for maybe some dioramas and things like that. There's like a cityscape and things of that nature. Then you've got some like early concept arts for the different player characters and things. Early ship designs and all that good stuff. No idea what that is, but that's pretty damn cool looking. Looks like a space station or something. I may be wrong. You guys may know exactly what it is, but it is what it is. I don't care. I just like it. I think it looks really damn cool. You've got like a Death Star on steroids over here. That's pretty wild looking. And I've bookmarked a few pages in this of some choice designs. That's a pretty cool environment right there. Just kind of getting through this quickly. And here's a really good example of both graphic design and color combinations. These are obviously you know, banners and things of that nature for the different, I guess, factions or players or what have you. But still, again, really, really cool. Very simplistic, but it definitely makes a statement. Continuing on with the environment looks, really cool stuff here. And again, here's more example of the really cool graphic design of this book. You know, very retro feel on these two images here. And then obviously this one here is way, way, way retro with the orange and the brown and the yellows and the kind of cream, you know, khaki color. So all of those color combinations are really cool, FYI. So moving into the book a little bit deeper, you got some more environments, space environment, which is really cool. And we're just going to go quickly through these because we want to get to the good stuff here. Or at least I want to get to the good stuff, right? So, one more page. Here we go. Okay, so graphic design and iconography. This is where this book kind of stands out. Actually, the whole game, really. You know, different banners and different flags and just very simplistic designs here that, you know, you could kind of think about incorporating into your next project, either from a stylistic standpoint or just for, you know, just from color combinations. This is a really good example of how colors interact with one another. So very cool stuff here, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. You know, you've got, it looks like the different, I guess, these are different achievements, probably from what it looks like. You've got different crests and shield variations here, which are really cool. Great color combinations and things. Great graphic design and iconography, like I said before. Then you've got some, I guess, some logos. Maybe some company logos or something like that. Again, I don't know the game. I'm just looking at this just from kind of an outside perspective. But man, this is really just a super, almost like a futuristic retro kind of feel, you know? These are all like flat designs. There's nothing, you know, it doesn't seem like there's any sort of like gradient or, you know, three-dimensional feel to any of these. These are nice, flat, simple, kind of futuristic retro looks, and I dig it. I dig it a lot. Then you've got some player concepts and stuff like that. Different head looks and things, different armor looks. This is for the hunter class character. Again, different armors, different helmet designs and things. This page right here, this series of turns on this particular concept of the head is really cool. Different, you know, cape looks here, different armor looks there. Again, a ton of heraldry in this particular book. All of these capes and everything, just wild. I especially like this one right here in the corner because obviously that's a deer or stag head, but then the colors that go into it are almost a woodland camouflage type color combination, which is really, really cool. You can also get some kind of paint technique or paint pattern ideas too, if you wanted to do like a custom paint job or something. You know, especially this one here with these kind of wild pinstripes going down around the corner and down the middle here, really quite nice looking. You know, you've got all sorts of things happening over here. This kind of black and white tiger motif here, the wolf, the sword. Man, just really, really good you know, like I said, graphic design, iconography, the whole nine. Then it gets into the Titan class. You know, some really stunning armor designs in this book. You know, I really love the chest and the shoulders on this one, the forearm, pauldron, or what, greaves? I don't know what they're called. No, greaves are down here. Sorry. Forearm armor? I don't know. But yeah, these are just super great. And you can incorporate these into your next project. You know, get some ideas flowing, maybe make something custom and cool. You know, just the whole 9 yards. So really, really good book. Like I said, it's an overall style book. Great iconography and color combinations, armor design, all that good stuff. Then you start getting into kind of player accessories and things coming up. You know, here's like the drones, I guess that's called the Ghost. All sorts of really cool things here. Let's kind of move quickly through this because I do want to show you some things. Ah, yeah, look at this. This is wild. That's really cool. I can see that being incorporated into like an IBO design, something along that line. So yeah, these are wild. And let's just kind of move through this here. Let's skip ahead to one of the bookmarks that I got here. And this is a good one, yeah. So weapon designs. The weapon designs in Destiny are just really, really cool. Obviously, it's from the same studio that brought you Halo. So they're going to have kind of the same feel. And man, these are just super, super amazing designs. You know, you've got handguns and you've got battle rifles. You've got shotguns over here. You've got sniper rifles down here at the bottom. Just really cool things. You can either customize an existing weapon or try to scratch build your own. You've got heavy weapons on this particular page. You've got, you know, drum mags and box mags and things like that, similar to what I built for my own Jesta. You've got bazookas and things of that sort. Just really, really great designs all around. Even some quirky, weird weapons and things like that here too. You can just kind of glean ideas off of. So great book. You know, it's got melee weapons here, different weird sorts of things. Ship designs, you can get, you know, kind of both color combination, mechanical design ideas, and panel line design ideas as well. So very, very useful on all fronts, this particular book. So a great, great source of inspiration, and I highly, highly, highly recommend this. It comes with a nice slip cover, and yeah, The Art of Destiny. So pick it up. It's on the list of inspirational books on that Amazon link down below. Go and check it out, will you? So, alrighty then. Boom. The chest. Let's get zoomed in here real quick, and I'll kind of show you, run through what I did here since the last stream, and then we'll get caught up in the chat because a lot of you guys are talking, and I want to interact. So, obviously, last time we were here, we finished up matching the two front armored vent pieces, right? And then I started brainstorming the panel lines on this front kind of front chest armor. And as you can see, I went ahead and scribed in those lines here. So did a border scribe right around the vent opening, 1 millimeter off, and then I kind of back beveled one side of it just to make it stand out a little bit more. And I really like that look, but then just a simple 3-line rule style line, panel line coming, you know, from the side here. Just very simplistic. And then just kind of finished it off, and it's hard to see, with some 0.3 millimeter notches kind of around that particular border scribe. And then just did a 1 millimeter scribe here on the edges of this cutout that I did the other night right here, and duplicated that on both sides. So both sides match, look perfect, and really, really good. So that's kind of where we are tonight. We're going to work on this top piece here, the kind of the collar piece, if you will. We're going to work on that. We're going to do a little bit brainstorming. I started a little bit here, a little bit earlier today, and we're just going to continue that here momentarily. But let's check in with the chat. Let's get caught up before we go any further. Let's start on Facebook, shall we? And looks like Andrew is both on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for watching, Andrew. Willie Woods, just getting here. Are we looking for a color scheme for the Jesta? We're not that far yet, Willie. Good question, though. I still got to think about it, to be honest with you. I still don't know what I'm going to paint this guy. But we go over books every stream just to kind of convey some inspiration and things of that nature for your next project, maybe. So great question. Carlo Castro is over here. Linny Bauman, thank you for joining. She says, yay, I'm here working on Barbados Lupus Rex. Excellent. Excellent. Good stuff. Let's check in over here on Facebook and on Twitch. Let's see what you guys are up to. 01 Shield is with us. Jay Lynch, Bailey, William Wilms, bunches of GBWC vets on the Gunpla Talk now. Yeah, right? I think the only ones that haven't participated in GBWC are Simon and Justin at this point. Justin, I think, is only a matter of time. Simon, unfortunately, can't participate simply because he lives in the UK. And that sucks for him. I feel bad for that. Our special guest on Gunpla Talk tomorrow, Aaron Simons, is in the YouTube chat. What's going on, buddy? We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning, but we'll see you late tomorrow evening for you. So thanks for tuning in, brother. Appreciate that. William Wilms is here. What were the remaining 40th anniversary colors you were trying to find and add to your collection? I can't remember the video you talked about it. I found some at a store. Oh, cool. Actually, what is it? It's 4, 5, and 6. Colors 4, 5, and 6. But luckily, my good friend Irad, the owner of Gundam Kitchen up in beautiful Blackwood, New Jersey, has already procured those for me. So they were actually waiting at the store for me. So I appreciate that, William. I really do, buddy. Good looking out, too, man. That's awesome. Bailey says, Bungie for the win. Never got into Destiny either, but was with Bungie for OG Halo games. Yeah, I know, right? I started out on like the kind of original Xbox playing Halo, and I think I got maybe Halo 2, and then I just kind of got out of the whole console scene altogether. So it is what it is. Gunpla Paul is with us. What's going on, Paulie? Thank you for joining us, buddy. Andrew says, OG Halo games are love. Yeah, they're really nice. Really nice. I love the concept art of those. I actually have some concept books specifically on Halo. Might have to look at those. I don't know. William Wilms, Halo games are life. I knocked out a few hundred hours on Destiny 2 as well. Very cool. Man, if I had a console, I'd probably rock Destiny. I probably would. It would be fun. But I don't have a console, so that ain't gonna happen. Let's see. Andrew Young says, couldn't get into Destiny. Halo was a bar too high to top or even get close to. Yeah, it is what it is. Andrew also says, Tim, you got a Titanfall book. Yeah, dude, we went over it, I think last week. Yeah, I got The Art of Titanfall 1 and 2. We covered 1. We haven't seen, I haven't reviewed 2 as of yet on the stream. We'll do that sometime soon, though. But yeah, Titanfall is just, it's legit in terms of concept design. Love that stuff. William Wilms says, I like Destiny with doing missions with friends instead of just shoot 'em up games against them. See, I always was into player versus player. Back in the day, I was very, very deep into player versus player on certain games and stuff, but not so much anymore. I just kind of single player the thing, and honestly, I hardly play video games too much anymore. I'll get some games, you know, when the Steam sale comes up and it's at a really good price, like 50% off, 75% off, you know, for like the old games that have been out for like 3 or 4 years. I'm not going to worry about buying the new games because they're, I'll just wait a little bit and they'll go on sale. That's the way I do it. Let's see. Andrew Young, childhood Halo, play with your friends, relatives together on Xbox. Yeah. Soravan, Zero is over there on Twitch helping us hold down the fort. Nice and quiet here as usual. Busy sanding. Excellent. Thank you for watching, Soravan. Thank you for your help, by the way. I really do appreciate it. I want to make sure that you understand. I really, really, really appreciate it. So, good looking out, buddy. That's awesome of you. Captain Weirdbeard is here to help us pass the time. Thank you for watching, Captain. Salute to you. William Wilms, talking about color schemes for the Jest. I enjoyed Orc Painter Nerd YouTube video color scheme. I've watched some of his videos, but I'm not sure of the any particular paint scheme that you're talking about. Sorry. I don't watch his videos religiously, so I've just seen a few here and there. Bailey connecting Xboxes together with a LAN cable. Nice. Ryan Remington, that Jesta is looking great. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for tuning in, too, buddy. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Andrew Young, yeah, Jeremy's build last year was all Titanfall inspired. Yeah, I remember that. It was busting out of the box. That was really cool. Strider Prime is with us. Welcome, Johanny. Thank you for watching, buddy. You haven't missed much. We just kind of reviewed a book like we do. And so we went through the Art of Destiny, the hardcover concept art book, and it was really, really cool. So, yeah, we're starting to get into the modeling. We're just catching up on the chat. So, really like the rifle mod you did with the Jesta. It looks like a saw. Yeah, I know, right? That's kind of what the inspiration was for that, for the box mag and everything. I, you know, looked at, you know, Google images of, you know, saw rifles and stuff like that, and kind of looked at the dimensions and things, and then also looked at the Jesta cannon rifle, because the rifle for the Jesta cannon actually does incorporate a box mag. So I kind of looked at that and took inspiration from all of those sources. So appreciate that. Thank you. William Wilms, he did a video that he painted a master grade Jesta, and it had 2 different shades of green with a yellow in it as well. Interesting. I might have to go and look that up. That sounds pretty cool. So, alrighty then. Looks like we're all caught up. Let's get into what we were here for. Before we do that, I gotta reach over here and get my eyes. Gotta put the eyes on. Excuse me. Alright, so what we've done here, and let's get super zoomed here so I can really kind of show you what's going on with this particular piece here. Sheboygan. Okay, so on the front here, that's not going to focus now, is it? So on the front here, you can see those 2 little indents, right? Kind of here and here. Now, both of those are actually molded in details straight from the factory. I really don't like the looks of those, so what I did, excuse me, last night was just dropped a little bit of super glue on those indents, and what that did was to fill in, you know, fill in that void, and then all I had to do was go back, shave off that you know, kind of overfill, if you will, and just kind of smooth it out. So super glue works amazing for those little indents that you want to fill, maybe panel lines or something like that, because obviously it's an adhesive, but it's also very durable and strong too. So it's the perfect material for filling these teeny tiny little cracks, or indents, I should say. Also, if you're filling in seam lines, if those seam lines are maybe just a little too small to get putty to, you know, stick in there perfectly, just drop a little super glue on there and then let it cure, and then just kind of start shaving that off with your hobby knife. You could sand it. The problem that you're going to run into, though, is that the density of super glue is a little harder than, say, putty. So you're going to be sanding for a while. You could get waves in terms of where the plastic meets the super glue. You could kind of start to get a dip there as the two densities meet each other, right? So what I like to do is try to shave it off. Ooh, there we go. Shave that off with a sharp hobby knife, just like this. I know that's blurry, guys. We're going to get out of super zoom here. But shave that off with a sharp hobby knife. There we go. Shave that off with a really nice sharp hobby knife, and that'll go right down to the bare plastic, and it's super smooth, and you'll never know that it's there. Once you got it shaved down, then you can go back, sand that nice and smooth, and really just a great filler for these little indents and things. Excuse me. So now what we've also done here, and where's my little pointer? Here it is. I hate pointing with a hobby knife. The stock Jesta kind of collar, top, chest, whatever you want to call it, is actually curved right here, right? It's not a sharp corner. So what I did was to sharpen that up, and all I had to do was put my hobby knife right on the surface of this this flat piece right here, and then push in to that curve, right? And then do the same thing on this corresponding surface right here. Push right down, trying to keep it flat as possible. And then what that'll do is that will cut from both sides and give you a nice, sharp, crisp inner corner there. So I did that on both sides. And I think that looks a lot better than having that ugly kind of weird curve there. And then now what I'm going to do is make this kind of a panel line going up and over the shoulder and coming back down. So this piece now looks like it is a, you know, a separate armor panel right here, this part right here. So let's see if we can get that in the light. It's not going to want to cooperate with us, is it? Too many surfaces. There you can kind of see that panel line running right there, right? And it runs down right in that corner, runs up, and obviously goes off here and then trails off the edge. So I really like the way that looks so far. We're going to continue excuse me, working on this, and we're just going to kind of do some brainstorming and see where it takes us. Let's see here. You guys are all talking and stuff here. Let's see what we got. Drummer Dude, he says, yo, I got to get me some of those magnifying glasses. Yeah, dude. These, like Bailey said, these are the Donegan Optivisors. If you look in the description under the video on YouTube, you'll see an Amazon link. Hit that up. That's, like I said before, a page that I've curated with all the tools that I use, and you can find exactly the different stuff. Now, the thing with these is that they come in different magnifications. this is, the ones I have here are the highest magnification. Obviously the most expensive, but I can see, I can bring something as close to 4 inches. That's the focal length on these. So it's insane, the amount of detail that you can really see. So, cool. Thank you for the hookup, Bailey. Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you for the assist. Andrew Young, being Andrew Young, says just eat carrots. You'll get 20/20 vision. Shut up, Andrew. All right, so let's continue on with this brainstorming session here. Let's see what we've got. So we've got, like I said, a separate panel here. And I went ahead and basically did a panel line here that runs into the corner of this large front kind of chest piece here, and just wrap that around. So now that looks like a separate unit as well. So I think I want to try and do something a little bit more with this piece here, because it's a little bare. So that's kind of how weird. That's kind of how it looks so far. And, you know, so far it looks really, really good. Obviously, it's a little hard to tell with this dark plastic on the camera and everything, and the light and all. It's very difficult, but it looks legit so far. So we're going to take this back off. We're going to do a little bit of more brainstorming here. Now, what I think I want to do is keep running this panel line down here to the back, maybe parallel with that collar, kind of like this. Just, you know, nice long stretch of a panel line here. And then maybe on the back, just run it right down the back here. And then that way, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a panel, an armor panel here, an armor panel here, and then your kind of long armor panel here that it's probably going to be more stationary. I can see, you know, different, I don't know, what could be under here? Different sensors or things of that nature, maybe guidance systems or something like that, something that needs armored up. Maybe some I don't know, maybe some visual analyzation systems. I mean, it's the future. I don't know. Think of something, right? So I think that's what we want to do at this point, is just kind of bring a nice long parallel line down, and then we'll kind of dress this up maybe with some notches here and there. I think I might do something a little bit more on this front piece. Let's see, is that going to be too much? Let me see something here, because I just had an idea for what we could potentially do on this chest and upper armor section here. Let's see, one of these. Let's pull one of these out. Now, you guys have seen me talk about these here before. Look at you, Strider Prime. You're like a psychic, man. Maybe some photo etch parts there? Yep, that's exactly what these are. So, I think what I might want to do, instead of putting the light that I want to install there on the corner, what I might do is put one of these kind of grab-on style hooks or whatever right here on both sides. So it's kind of like a lifting point, you know, for cranes and things of that nature to move the mobile suit around on, you know, maybe the factory or around a flight deck or something like that. Who knows, right? So I think that's what I'm going to do there. And I think what I'm going to do is move the light that I wanted up here. Now, obviously not a real light, not like LEDs or anything like that. That's going to be way too small, and I don't really mess with LEDs like that. Just a a kind of like a strip representation of a light. I've done that kind of aesthetic on the Ozymandias, the Blue Destiny, things of that nature, and just put a strip here and painted it red. And man, it looks really, really good. It pops out from the rest of the armor color, and I just really like the aesthetic. I think it looks really quite nice. So we're gonna pop this off here now, and let's start to lay these down. So got kind of a strip of Dymo here. I was just kind of laying around, and we're gonna, let's see, where do we want to measure this up here? Let's see, because we want this to be uniformed as much as possible, and that will actually be kind of a perfect length right there, and also the perfect kind of width too. Sweet. All right, let's talk about lucking out. Now we don't need all of it, so we're going to trim off just a little bit, and then that way we can cut another piece for the other side, because we need to duplicate this, obviously. So pop that off there, put that on the chopper, set that aside for later. All right, let's remove the backing tape off of here. Grab that tape up. All right, so now placement obviously is going to be key. This, like I said, is the perfect width between the edge of the piece and the panel line. And so it's just going to basically run along the edge of this particular piece in parallel. And that's exactly what I wanted to achieve here. Okay. And that's going to bump right into the corner of the scribe that I did a little bit earlier. So, let's see. Bailey says, Oliver on YouTube says, was going to get that loop attachment set from Mizaku. Man, they're really good, man. The Steel Soul photo etch line is just amazing. Super detailed. And the new ones that they're coming out with for, like, the attachments for what is it? The stands, the Bandai stands to, you know, that kind of gives them that safety fence look. Almost like an aircraft carrier deck or something like that. Just super cool. It almost reminds me of like an offshore like drilling rig or something like that. You know, that has the helicopter platforms, and then it's got the safety net around the perimeter of it, and it looks exactly like that. I thought that was amazing. I thought that's really, really cool. So I might have to get some of those myself. Hit up Taobao. Let's see. Drummer Dude. Hey, Tim, how often do you do build streams? Very good questions. We do them 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. So basically same time right now, but on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So, yep, 3 times. Thank you, Andrew, for saying Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You didn't give the time, though. Good deal. All right, so let's get scribing. We're going to pull out, where's our friend, 0.15, my panel line of choice. And we're going to pull this line here real quick. We're going to make short work of this because it's a nice, easy, straight line. So, nice and gentle on the first pass. You want to let the scriber do the work for you. Kind of continue applying pressure in increments as the number of passes increases. And you're going to want to keep an ear out for what the sound of the scribe makes. If it's a nice clean pass and it doesn't skip, or if it doesn't chirp, then you've got a nice, even, smooth panel line. If it skips, or if you feel it skip, or if it chirps or anything like that, man, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble because it's going to be wavy at the bottom. Spin the piece around, scribe from the other side, and that will usually help smooth out that panel line or notch or what have you. It's just a simple technique, but it does work rather well. But again, you want to let the tool do the work for you. Okay, so now we've got a nice straight parallel line here. Let's see if we can get that into the light. There she is. So nice and parallel to that inner edge here, which is exactly what I wanted. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use the same piece of Dymo tape we pulled off. We're going to do the back edge now, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to line it up with the outside edge, or the inside edge, I should say. Sorry about that. And we're just going to continue pulling this line down the surface of this back, kind of this collar piece, if you will. Now, once you pull up a piece of Dymo tape like this, it's going to probably not want to, be as sticky as it was originally. And that's a challenge, obviously, but you can make do and make it work for short little scribes like this, because you're not going to necessarily be applying too much pressure to the actual tape itself. So just got to be super careful with it. Run that line. And really, once you have the line started and you've got that kind of trench started, you can pull this tape off, because that scriber, your chisel is going to ride in that line, and it's just going to deepen the panel line at that point. And as I've said before, I personally prefer deeper panel lines. I think, in my mind, it does look a lot better, because you're going to get that natural shading just from the depth of it. So in the light, whatever light you have the model displayed in, it's obviously going to make a natural shadow, because the panel lines are recessed. So, and then obviously whatever panel lining fluid that you might use, whether it be Gundam marker or wash or something like Tamiya, panel line accent color. I can never remember the name of that stuff. I use it and I can never remember the name. Whatever you use, it's just going to enhance that shadow. So, yeah. So then this is not really kind of complex. I wanted to keep this particular piece very simple. And honestly, I think I wanted to keep the whole thing really simple. Not a lot of, 3-line rule style scribes and things like that. Just some simple box scribes, very parallel, perpendicular lines, things of that nature. Because that's, really kind of I guess it's the soul of the Jesta design, is to be simple. So that's what I like. And I think it looks good. Can you guys see that there? And then it just runs down the back. So, and then very simple on the side here. Let's see if I can, you can see it a little bit right there. And it just comes down perpendicular. Bang. So, let's see, what are you guys talking about? Drummer Dude says, sweet, I'm over in Washington, so it's 7:45 here, but I am at work at the moment, so I gotta go. I'm off Monday, though, so I'm gonna stop by. Awesome. Well, thanks for dropping by, man. I appreciate it. Welcome to the family. And if for some reason you want to catch the old ones, check them out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. They're there. They're all archived. So good stuff. Thanks for watching. I like that. That makes me feel good when somebody new comes in and you know, gets value of this thing. It's just like a new friend. It's cool. Really cool. Makes me feel good. Andrew, I swear I'm going to kick you out of the chat. For anyone that's maybe just catching us for the first time, Andrew and I have a love-hate relationship. More hate than love. It gets on my freaking nerves, this kid. But he's a good kid, regardless. So he just makes dumb comments. All right, so let's see. What are we going to do on this side? We're going to work on this side tonight, and then I'm going to duplicate the other side off stream, so you don't have to watch the same thing twice. It just is not as interesting the second time. Excuse me. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make some notches here on this back end piece, and we're just going to kind of freehand this at this point. So what I like to do, this is a 0.30, and this is kind of my #1 notching chisel. I apologize for those of you currently watching and participating in the chat on YouTube. Andrew's views do not reflect mine, and he might be kicked the hell out of YouTube. Ay, 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 this kid, man. So this 0.3 is my #1 notching scribe, right? This is what I use most of the time for latch notches and things of that nature. So what I'm going to do here is to offset the notch from the panel line that runs kind of perpendicular to the one I'm going to put the notches on, and I'm going to offset that about 2 millimeters, right? And that's what I usually like to do. It's a nice even kind of width from the edge. And like you see, I'm just kind of freehanding this thing here, which is not hard because this is just a little teeny tiny notch, probably about 1 millimeter. So there's very, very little room for error. Now, when you're first starting out, and you might not be able to judge minute distances, you know, maybe as well as you know, more experienced modelers. Like I can judge very small distances pretty easily, and I think that's due to this damn visor, honestly. But when you can start doing that, then I would say go ahead, freehand it. But until you kind of get that feeling down, that perception, I would definitely measure it and then use dymo tape, the whole 9 yards. Just do it right the first time. But as we can see here, like I said, I wanted to go for 2 millimeters. Let's see if we hit it. On the money. 2 millimeters it is. And if you don't believe me, let's do some super zoom. All right. So there's our notch. Two millimeters. On the money. Not bad if I do say so myself. But like I said, if you're starting out doing this, do it the right way. Do it with, measuring and tape and all that, just to get the angle of the scribe right and everything. Yes, there's not a lot of room for mistakes, but placement is key. So if you're starting out, do it the right way and then evolve to, kind of doing it the wrong way, like I do. All right, so we're going to do the same thing near the back. We're going to go about 2 or maybe 3 millimeters, because this is an angled piece. So we want to come in a little bit for kind of optical balance. Now, some of you that are just starting out, you may be wondering about notches and what's the purpose of notches and all that. Basically, what notches are there to represent are latches, or some sort of connecting mechanism to hold on that armor to the underlying frame. Think about your car and the body, the steel body on the car being connected to, the frame of the car. So it has connection points. It's bolted on, the whole nine. Now, the thing with, military vehicles and things of that nature, they really don't care much about aesthetics, right? So they hide those bolts and things of that nature underneath of the body panels on a car. So with this being a military platform, they're going to be more ease of use for the maintenance folks, and they're going to make those latches very easily accessible. So that's what these actually represent, are latches to hold the armor onto the frame. When you're going to design, your scribing pattern and your notching scheme and things of that nature, what I tend to do is put the notches on the piece that I would envision to be removed, right? So it wouldn't necessarily be on the static piece or the other piece. It would be on the part that needs to be removed. So what I did here on the armor, is I put them on this side. You can see one notch there and then the other notch down here. So the notches are on this side. So this is the panel that would be removed. This panel here would be kind of more static, if you will. Kind of like a quarter panel on your car. You don't see that often removed, because you can get to the engine through the hood, you can get to the wheels and the shocks and all of that, and the brakes and all that, through the wheel well. You don't really need to remove the quarter panel very often, unless you're in an accident or something like that, but then that's, cosmetic. So there are going to be those similar types of panels on a mech. There's going to be static panels that you don't often need to remove, but then there's going to be those heavy maintenance panels that they will definitely need to get into at a much higher rate. So that's kind of the intent behind having these notches on this side of the panel line versus the other side. So keep that in mind, when you're either starting to scribe or as you're going through and thinking about the mechanical details and things. So, tip of the day. Excuse me. Strider Prime says, what's your opinion on the new Jesta coming from the narrative series coming this fall? I think they're really cool, honestly. I think they would be cooler if they were 1/100 scale. you know, maybe some more master grade love, but I think they're really cool. You know, I mean, they're just basically normal Jestas with some add-ons, right? You kind of got the, you know, the flight pack, almost like the Stark Jagan kind of backpack. You've got the big kind of rifle on that tripod that is from the Rizel, and then there's that one with just that big kind of fuck you grenade launcher thing. I don't even know what it is, but I dig it, man. You know, the more grunt suits, the better, I'd say, because that's going to give modelers more options and, you know, more stuff to customize. So I think it's a good thing. William Wills, Strider Prime, I want all the extra tanks and weapons that those new Jestas are coming out with, but I'm not a fan of the NVG scope extra on the head. I don't see the point of that. Yeah, I can understand that. And what William is talking about is the single kind of scope on the head. You know, the way I see it is it's just an enhancement to the targeting system, I guess. You know, that probably provides better magnification of whatever they're trying to target. You know, you see that obviously on the sniper variants of the GMs and things of that nature. You know, you see that on the Zaku snipers because those mono eyes are kind of bulging out of their head because they've got a lot more you know, zoom capacity, I guess. So yeah. Rami Muhammad, hello from Malaysia. Awesome, dude. Notches, yes, I need to see this. Cool. Well, hey, man, I hope you got some stuff out of that. You know, we've actually covered notches and panel lines a lot on these streams. So if there's something that you haven't maybe seen on this particular stream, go back and watch the old ones because they're there on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, the whole 9 yards. I think we're up to like 12 or 13 streams at this point. So tons of content for you. So that's really awesome, dude. Thank you for watching, especially from Malaysia. That's cool, man. Andrew Young, some Japanese builder on Twitter actually made most of that Jesta way before it came out as a design. Yeah, you know what? Chris Wu, who is an often a viewer of ours on Facebook and YouTube, actually, we were talking one night, and he was kind of had the idea of that kind of before, like a few weeks before the NT artwork came out. And when it came out, we kind of had a good laugh because, you know, he basically predicted it, and it was pretty funny. Let's see. Rami Muhammad says, how did you start the notch and alignment? I was parking my car. Cool. All right, cool. Well, let's talk about that here real quick. So the notches that I do comes in two flavors, right? There are perpendicular notches, and then there are parallel notches, right? Let's see here. So these right here, let's see if we can get zoomed in. Let's go into super zoom here real quick so you can see really what I'm talking about, because this is going to be kind of the perfect example of what I mean. So right there, let's kind of get this angled down so you can see the shadow a little bit better. So right here you have a panel line going across this front vent piece, and then you have this notch right here, and that's a parallel notch. So like I said, there's two kinds. There's parallel styles of notches, but then on the top here you have perpendicular notches. These two, let's get that in frame a little bit more. These two little guys here, these are perpendicular, so these kind of go off into like a T-style shape, right? So those are the two styles of notches. Now you also have floating notches, which just kind of float out into an armor piece, but I don't necessarily do those as much. I will do those sometimes, and I've done them on the Jesta here on, where did we do those? I think we did them on the leg here, yeah. So right here on the leg armor, I've got kind of a floating notch right here. And that's just kind of a more, I see that more as something that you would put on smaller panels. So obviously this, you know, inner panel here is quite small. So this kind of long parallel floating notch is more appropriate on that, at least in my opinion. Now, mind you, this is just my perspective. This is not a blanket statement to everybody, right? So placement, in my opinion, should kind of make sense and be symmetrical to the piece that you're scribing. So with the Jesta leg here, right? What I did was I panel lined right around this raised panel on the inside of the calf, and 2 millimeters from each corner, I offset a perpendicular. Let's see if we can get it in the light here. There you go. So you can see how these notches are offset 2 millimeters in from each corner. That, for me, is a very, very happy kind of distance. And it really just depends on the length of the panel line itself. So you've got 2 here on this top edge, you know, 2 millimeters in from this corner, 2 millimeters in from this corner, and the same just goes all the way around. So that's kind of what I tend to, you know, look for. That's just kind of a generality. Now, it's not set in stone. You can do whatever. But that's kind of what I try to stick to stylistically and kind of mechanically. So that's kind of what I do. Now, in terms of parallel notches, like you saw here on the front vent armor, I will do that sometimes for kind of long panel lines on smaller pieces. So on this, it makes perfect sense. Over here on this piece right here, I did one right here. This is kind of just a long border scribe, but then a nice parallel notch there, and then even here on the leg, a nice parallel latch there, and then right here on the back of the leg too, just to kind of give it a little bit of a mix of flavor, because you have some parallel or some perpendicular ones down here, and then you got a parallel one up there. So you want to mix it up, but you want to use what's appropriate to the piece and to kind of what the mechanical styling is as well. So keep that in mind. But that's kind of how I go about kind of planning notches, aligning them, and things of that nature. So very good question, Rami. Great, great, great question. Ness is joining us from the Netherlands. Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the family. GamerBud just popped in. Whoa, sorry I'm late. I had a bit of a crisis. Decided to finish up putting decals on his real grade Zeta Gundam, and it was taking it apart so he could get the decals on the back wings, and the leg broke. Ouch, dude. Sorry about that. That sucks. Had to spend a lot of time gluing his leg back on and repose him. Damn, dude. That's terrible. Sorry about that. Whew. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. All right, so we've got the 2 notches here. Now let's install this little light that I like to put on here at the top. What are we going to do for width? I think we're going to go 1/4 by, I don't know. Might be too big. Let's see. No, you know what? We're gonna go full on 1/2 mil. This I think is 1/4 mil. Yep, that is 1/4 millimeter. So we need to find our 1 by 1/2 millimeter. And I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it. Bingo. All right, cool. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install this little light here that I like to put on. And we're just going to cut a very small strip of plastic here. We're just going to kind of freehand this guy. Just like that. Just that little itty bitty piece, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to attach him right there. And what's going to happen is once that glue dries, I'll come back and bevel the edges on this thing with my hobby knife. Just kind of very, very simple, very lightly bevel it, right? And so what also I'm going to do after that is border scribe around it to make it look like it's a separate piece, not just that's coming off of the surface. So it's going to give some clarity, it's going to give some shadow and some depth to it, some separation as well. And then once we go into paint, that's going to end up a nice bright red. And once the model is finished, it's going to be it's going to look like a warning light. And I just kind of like that look, really. So it's been done plenty of times before, but it's just something I kind of do now. It's pretty neat. All right, so let's see. Gamer Bud, he is reposed and glued, and now he's finishing putting decals on. That's my favorite part. I love putting decals on. Hope you're putting on water slides. Don't use those damn stickers, dude. If you use stickers, you're going to disappoint me, bud. I'm telling you now. Stickers are for the trash. Water slides are for your model. Oh, hell. Facebook is going off. Oh, let's see. Let's check in with Facebook. Why don't we? Let's see. Man, lots of people over here. This is cool. Looks like Bracana has joined us on all three. So that's awesome. James Denise. No Zaku boy. Thank you for watching, James. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. James says stickers are the devil. Damn right, dude. But hey, guys, check out James, man. Super talented modeler. He's come in, I think second 2 years in a row down in Australia, GBWC, and man, he builds some bangers. Last year he built that Zagak under the waterfall, with that kind of base scene behind the waterfall. Like, you had to look through the waterfall to see it, and it was all lit up and everything. It was just damn cool. And then he built this crazy big diorama that told a story this year, and it was just wicked and just kind of way out there. So man, definitely a good follow. And he painted up one of his second place trophies, which is just fucking awesome. So follow him, No Zaku Boy, on what, James? Instagram and Facebook, I think, right? I know I follow you on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure I follow you over here on Facebook. So, No Zaku Boy. Definitely go follow him. It's absolutely worth it to take your time and follow James. He's a good dude, man. Eddie's joining us, says, well, hello from Mechanism. Nice detailing work there, bro. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate that, brother. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Look at that. Simon Lamb is with us, too. Cool. I love Simon, man. He's a good modeler as well. Simon won the very first, the inaugural Canadian GBWC. And he had this amazing red Zaku with this, crazy bazooka and the whole nine. Super detailed, which I really loved. And it was just awesome. So Simon's a great dude, man. Simon, you have some pages and stuff like that too, right? I don't know. And if you do, I don't know if I'm following you, but I should. That's a definite, because I love your work, dude. But yeah, let me know if you have any pages or anything, and we'll get them out to the masses, because that would be a definite follow for me, just very, very easily. So both of those guys, man, James and Simon, just really good dudes. Oh, so you just have your personal account, Simon? Okay, okay. Well, friend him up on Facebook, man. Simon Lamb, man, just awesome work. He posts in a bunch of different groups. Obviously the Canadian groups, Gunpla Montreal, Vampla. Shout out to my boys in Vampla. Appreciate those guys. But man, yeah, just super detailed, really awesome work from Simon, and also James. Don't forget James too, by the way. So good bunch of guys, and thank you guys for tuning in. That really does mean a lot, seriously. All right, so we're just going to kiss this with a little bit of glue, just a touch. There we go. And we are going to pop this on right about there. And let's take a look at it and make sure that it's squared up to the piece. Just a little hair there. And I think that looks really quite nice. All right, cool. So that was just obviously our friend Tamiya Extra Thin. Boom, right there. And so we just put a little bit of glue on there, pop that on the front chest piece here, and that's going to sit and cook and dry and cure up in the whole 9 yards. And then, like I said, I'm going to come back, bevel the edges just really lightly with my hobby knife, do an outline border around that to make it look nice and recessed and separate and everything, and that'll end up being kind of a warning light. And I'll do that on the other side as well. So we're going to put this off to the side. We're kind of done with this side right now. I like how this turned out a lot. Let's kind of mock it up here real quick so you can kind of get the feel of what this whole chest piece is kind of going to look like here, because I really am digging this quite a lot right now. Now, the next piece that we're going to work on is this front cockpit piece here, because that definitely needs some love, and it's a little scarce. And I think I might go back and, whoop, not in frame. What I think I might do is go back and kind of detail this a little bit as well. Maybe do some more things here. Maybe do some things with this front piece. Maybe something over here. But then we're going to have a nice little photo etch kind of grab on hook there, which is going to be really quite nice too. So let's take this cockpit cover off here. We're going to take the collar off, and we're going to set this back here on my drying shelf, and we're going to put the chest off to the side. Let's take a look at this thing. Let's see what we can do with this. Let's gunk it up a little bit, shall we? So we're just going to scuff up the surface just a little bit, just so we can start to draw on this with a pencil, because it makes drawing a lot easier when the surface is scuffed up a little bit like this. Just a light sanding, nothing crazy. We're just doing this to make the pencil lead adhere a little bit better, right? Excuse me. So we're going to do all 4 sides here. Front, back, and the 2 sides. Let's see. We're going to do some brainstorming with our scribes. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, honestly. But I think this piece in particular, being kind of the centerpiece of the chest, definitely is going to need some love. It doesn't have to be complex or kind of standoutish or anything like that, or crazy extreme or anything like that. It just needs to look nice. And it needs, I think, to have a certain presence. It needs to fit in and flow with the rest of the style, because we need to have kind of the same mechanical style throughout. We need to make sure that this piece looks like it was designed by either, you know, a single person or a team of people. So let's see, what are you guys talking about in the chat here? Let's check in on YouTube here. Let's see. Oh, Gamer Bud, damn it, you used the stickers. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm kidding. That's fine. We all started with stickers, right? 151 stickers, and he hates all of them. I would hate all of them too. That's why I use water slides, man. Andrew Young says, yep, still don't like photo etch. I'm hoping I'll change my opinion eventually. Dude, yeah, you got to get on the photo etch thing, man. It will add really, really nice detail, and it will enhance that kind of illusion of scale too. So think about it. Let's see here. James says, Jesta is coming up badass, man. Love the box mag. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. I really liked how it came out. I was very, very pleased with the box mag. I was kind of happier with how it came out than kind of even I envisioned it. So it just kind of worked out, really. So here's to happy accidents, right? All right. So let's see what we've got here. Let's put this on back on the piece, and actually let's get the rest of the cockpit involved. Get that right there, and we're going to get this piece popped on here. I think I did it backwards. Yep, I did it backwards. Alright, so this piece goes on first, and it slides in to, come on. It's got to come out. That's got to go up. This is the one part I never really liked about the Jesta, is this cockpit assembly. It's so kind of just too fiddly, in my opinion. Whatever happened to the cockpits that just kind of flipped up, right? It's the old school, easy peasy cockpits. All these like 2-part, 3-part cockpit designs and all that. Just a waste, in my opinion. All right, so there's what the front of the chest looks like normally, right? So, what are we going to do? We've got 2 molded in notches here that just really don't make any sense. So we're going to fill those in with some super glue. But before we do that, I do want to try and come up with maybe some ideas for this particular piece. Now, since this is just an armor piece, there's not going to be all that much to it, really. So what I might do, maybe do some reinforcement on this. We'll probably do, I could do some strapping on this. I think that would look kind of appropriate, you know, especially with the look of the armored vents here as well, you know. So I think that's what I might actually do. So we may not even need to fill these notches. If we strap up this way, then I think that will look really quite nice. So I think that's what the game plan is going to be. So let's get this piece ripped off the front here. There we go. Set that off to the side. Let's do some measuring, shall we? Let's see what we've got here. How wide is this? That is 9 millimeters wide. Okay, cool. So what I think I might do is play off this gap here. And that's kind of been an ongoing theme. But the problem that I have with these gaps on a lot of this is that you've got rounded corners. Let's see, can you see that there? Yeah, you should be able to see that on camera there. I really, really am not a fan of rounded corners like that. If this was a Zaku, then it would be completely different. But this is a Jesta. This is an Earth Federation. They're supposed to look more angular. And with this being kind of a precision piece, having a rounded, you know, kind of rounded corner like that just really, it just doesn't make much sense to me. So we're going to square this. So we're going to just kind of let your hobby knife kind of ride that surface, and then do the same thing to the perpendicular side. Just kind of ride that surface down until you hit that nice corner. And you want to be careful with it. You don't want to go too fast, you know, too much too fast. You want to kind of nibble away at the material. And there we go. So now you can kind of see, hopefully, that this corner here, and let's see if we can get it turned around here to minimize the shadows. Now that corner is nice and sharp, 90 degrees. This corner over here, this inner gap, is still rounded, but we're going to match that up here momentarily. We're going to get that squared off. So far, so good. Like I said, you just want to let your hobby knife kind of ride that surface, and it's going to basically find that corner for you once you start to nibble that material down. And once you're in that corner, you just kind of want to wiggle your knife a little bit, and it's going to pop that material out for you and give you a nice, crisp, sharp corner to work with. And that is exactly what we've got. So good stuff there. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to measure the inside length of this gap and see kind of what we're working with here. So that is 7.5 millimeter. Okay. So we're going to call that 7 millimeters. The reason why is because we want the panel lines that we're going to border this strap with to go and meet those gaps, to meet the corners of those gaps. So you want to leave off a little bit of length for that. So we're going to pull out our good friend the chopper. We're going to do some measuring, and we're going to cut some strip. So there she is right there. Get our good old L square here. We're going to measure out 7 millimeters. Right about there. Lock our stop block in. That's good. And now, what we're going to do, I'm just going to cut a piece of scrap first and make sure that this diameter is good before we go, you know, cutting good stock, right? So here's our piece, and let's see if that fits nicely. Let's get the visor down, see if we have enough clearance on both sides. And it's a little tight still, so we're going to back that off just a bit, and then it should be perfectly fine. So we're just going to pull this back in just a hair. And then we're going to do the same thing to another piece of scrap here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Now that's got offset and room on both sides, so that panel line is going to, like I said, it's going to come down and match up on the inside of that gap, and it's going to now then present the look and illusion of a separate piece. Very good. Very good. That's exactly what we're looking for. So now we need to cut a piece of 7mm strip. Since I don't have half a millimeter going up that big, we need to cut up a piece ourselves here. I think this is 0.3 if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, that is 0.3 millimeter. We need to find a piece of 1/2 mil over in this mess. What is this? Half. Cool. Alright, so here is our 1/2 mil piece of styrene, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a strip here. And we're not going to be real fancy or anything like that with it. We're just going to basically cut a strip real loosey-goosey here. Okay. Pop that off. There's that. So now, what we're going to do, excuse me, is we're going to, actually, wait a minute, let me see if I can, let's see. Oh, look at that. That's actually perfect right there. We're going to have to do something custom on the top, but this front side, I can actually cut a piece of 6.3 and run it perpendicular. So that'll actually work nice. So let's do that real quick. Get this piece installed on the front, and then we'll work on the top here momentarily. Okay. So here's our piece that we just cut. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So we're going to glue this up here real quick. I'm going to try to hold it at the very, very bottom edge, because we can't necessarily stab this with the hobby knife, or else it'll go everywhere. Okay. Alright. Now, let's get this installed here. Placement is everything. Try to center that up as best as we can. And what you want to do is you want to have this plastic piece overlap the edges. So you can trim that back a lot easier and make that flush with the edges. Okay. So one thing that I like to do to check center is use like a piece of strip, like a 1mm piece of strip, 1/2 mil, what have you, and then just kind of use that as a measuring gauge. So we're about 1 full millimeter down here at the bottom, and that looks nice and centered near the bottom. Now let's check the top. It tapers up to about 3/4 of a millimeter. That's off just a little bit to the side. Okay. Now we're cooking. Cool. All right, so this piece looks nice and centered now. So there's that. So that's basically going to be the beginning of our additional light armor on this cockpit piece. Let's see what's going on in the chat just real quick. Let's get caught up. Let's see. Jay Lynch says you can use stickers for cover when you're painting. So basically like mask. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people do that actually. You got to be careful because if they don't peel up really nicely, they could leave that mess, that sticker mess on there. So you do need to be careful. You know, maybe stick them on like your T-shirt or something like that a couple times to lower the tack. But yeah, I've seen actually people do that, use those as masks, painting masks. So good call. Andrew Young says, "Oh yeah, I was digging through my parts bin and found a box mag from an old Kotobukiya MSG set, almost the same size for the Jesta, because I tested it for for shits and giggles. Very cool. Hey man, you never know what you're gonna find in your box parts bins and stuff like that." William Wilm says, "I'm not a fan of stickers, but I can't argue with the reflective eye stickers." Yeah, maybe. You can get the same with paint, but to each their own, right? We're all at different skill levels. Andrew says, I just became an XS fanboy, got a nice Gundam Fix Figuration XS. That's awesome. Those are, the Gundam Fix line is just really, really nice. Really nice. Wish they still made those, at the same level that they used to. We got like one a month for several years, and it was so cool. I had a ton of those. William Williams, I am enjoying the challenge of the real grade line. Right now I'm building the real grade Tallgeese. Very cool. That's got to be small though. 144 Tallgeese? I don't know about that. Strider Prime, gotta go. Have a good night. You too, man. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Andrew Young, Night Dude, saying to Strider Prime there. Andrew, yes, I used to have, I had a few Gundam Fix figures. I actually still have some of them. I got like the Hayaku Shiki, the GPO2. I have the Hummingbird, of course. And I had some other ones too. I think I had some Xenography. I know I had the Dom, and I think I had some others. I don't remember. I think they're in storage somewhere. But yeah, I used to have a few of them. So, but all right, good deal. Let's see, what time is it? 11:35. We got about 25 more minutes, guys. 25 more minutes, and it's the weekend. Well, it's the weekend already, basically, but still, you catch my drift, right? Right. Cool. All right, so we're gonna hold this front cockpit off because that piece needs to dry, and I don't want to bang around with that thing and dislodge it or anything like that. So what I'm going to do next is go back and let's start brainstorming on this back armor piece here, this back chest piece, because we need to basically match that up style-wise to the front part of the chest, right? So we've got some nice things going on with the front part of the chest. We want to obviously mirror some of that onto the back. Obviously the border, these edge scribes right here. Well, you're zoomed completely out and you can't see what I'm talking about here. Sorry about that. So these edge, kind of panel lines right here. It'll try to be easier with my little pointer here. These edge lines right here and right here, we want to obviously mirror those on this side because it's going to flank our insert here that we're going to create at some point in the future. And then we just kind of want to do some interesting things on the back here. There's obviously not a lot of surface area on top because of that collar piece, but there are some nice, some nice area on the bottom here. Now, the back, I mocked up a little bit earlier. There's not too much visible of this back simply because the backpack is so large and consuming. So I don't know if we're going to do too much here on the back. Maybe a panel line here, something simple, but we're not going to necessarily waste our time with what is not seen at this point. So let's start to scuff this puppy up here. just going to do a little bit of brainstorming. Just like that. And we're just going to do the bottom here and the back real quick. Just to get some pencil lead on here, get some ideas down. We may not complete this tonight simply because there's only, what, 20-25 minutes left. Let's see. We'll just continue this on maybe Monday or something. And let's see. Let's finish this side out here. Okay. Cool. All right. So now we've got a scuffed up piece ready to be marked up and do some brainstorming here. So we want to kind of use the front piece as a bit of reference, obviously, because we do want to maintain an aesthetic style and, you know, kind of a mechanical symmetry to this. So obviously, like I said before, we're going to mirror this kind of border scribe right here on the edge. Just a simple 1 millimeter scribe around the very edge of this particular panel. And top and bottom here. Whoops. Where'd it go? Here it is. Just like that. Wrap it up around. Very good. Okay, so now we got the easy bits out of the way. Now we've got a little bit more of a dilemma here. So now, what I think I might do, since I brought, let's see if you guys can see this here. Since I brought the kind of 3-line style panel line off of this corner, I'm going to mimic that same type of thing on this back piece. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have this just kind of wrap around. Just go straight back that way and then wrap it around here on the back and then angle up to this corner here. I like to have if the line is going to basically run off the edge of a panel, I try my best to get it to terminate at a corner or inside corner, something like that, because that's going to be kind of almost a natural place to you know, have the panels meet, right? So I like that so far. But what else can we do? Let's bring the front panel in here. Let's try to gain some ideas, maybe some inspiration from this thing. Well, you know, one thing that we could do, and I know I said I didn't want to necessarily go you know, full hog on this thing simply because you're not going to see much back here, but maybe kind of a nice box panel back here, just kind of higher up and away from that panel line that we just brought in from the side here. So, and then wrap that right up around the top. Something kind of like this. Let's see if you guys can see that in the light. Let's see. Alright, so you can see the top where that box that I drew is now. And then if I turn it this way, you can see how it wraps around to the back there, right? So what I think is going to, what I kind of envision is that this is going to be almost like a single panel, but it's going to fold, obviously, because it goes at different angles. It's not just a straight style panel, right? So what we're going to need is we're going to need kind of another panel line here to make it look kind of like that that panel folds. So I kind of dig that so far. I think I'm digging that. I think so. Still not sold on it, to be honest with you. We might have to do a little bit more brainstorming. I don't know if I'm happy with that, now that I think about it. Revisions, right? All right, so looking at this as a whole, let's get the backpack out. Let's see what we're really working with here. Here's the back piece here. So obviously you need to insert the head unit here. Okay, and then the backpack goes on here. Yeah, and see, you're not going to see that. I'm not even going to mess with that. I'm just going to make that simple panel line there, and that's going to be it. So let's pull that out. Let's pull this off. Let's get to scribing this thing, because I think this is going to be pretty easy to do. All right, let's get some Dymo tape over here. Let's get working on this thing, shall we? Finish strong. Okay. Throw that away. Let's see. So now what we want to do is we want to be careful, and we want to make sure that this line is perpendicular to the bottom of the opening for the arm mechanics here. Just like that. Press that on there nice. And where's 0.15? Ready to go. James says, man, I need one of those choppers. I wish they weren't $100. Damn, man. $100 in Australia? Yeah. That's a steep price for that. Even, converted to Australian dollars, man, that's a steep ass price. Obviously, it's an import, but still, man. Woo. Here in the States, it's like, what, 40, 45 US? What's that? What's the conversion rate? I think it's like, that should probably be around 60 Australian? I'm guessing, maybe? I don't know. I could be wrong. But damn, that's damn steep, dude. Okay. Make sure this is parallel to what we just scribed. Looks good. Alright, yank that off of there. Nice. Very good. Very clean. Name of the game, cleanliness. Now we're going to connect that line with the corner. And then this scribe will pretty much be done, and this whole piece will pretty much be done and ready to slap back onto the body. Okay. And there it is. All right, rock and roll. Easy peasy. So let's get this strapped back on to the body here. Now, what we've got, let's get that in camera a little bit here. Yeah, Simon, that's actually it's kind of what I would expect in Canada. Obviously, you guys have you know, higher conversion rate here than the U.S. But yeah, 70 is yeah, it's a respectable price. Shoot, oh, I forget. Andrew something, not Andrew Young. I'm not talking to you. But shoot, one of the modelers up there. He actually bought it from the U.S. Amazon, got it shipped to him in Canada, and still paid less than what Canadian Amazon had it for. So there's an idea. I don't know. All right, so what we got here? This is looking good. I like how this chest is coming out next, or so far. So like I said, what we're gonna do is going to add some nice insert pieces here, so that these two chests, the front and back, will bump up to that, so we don't have to worry about seam lines or anything like that, which is a nice added benefit. But it's not why I did it. I just wanted it to look really cool, and that's what it's going to look like here once we tack those on and build that up from the body here. It's going to look, you know, really, really cool. It's going to look separated. That'll be a nice offset color and everything there too. But in terms of the panel lines, this is looking really quite good. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do these border scribes. I'll do that later. But we've got a nice panel line going, you know, here, and then we've got it pulled on the other side, going around the back real nice too. So you've got basically the chest piece are separated, you know, into two halves, top and bottom, and then you've got this kind of border material around the chest vent as well, which I'm super happy with. I really like that so far. This bottom part of the cockpit has two floating notches already scribed in there, already molded in there. You can see that there in the light. I like that already. I think I'm just going to keep that. This bottom piece here, though, we may do a little bit with, clean up some of the angles and things like that here. 11:50, we still have a little bit of time. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, you know Andrew then. Cool. Good. You know, I can't remember Andrew's last name for the life of me. But yeah, he comments on you know, my posts and stuff like that sometimes, and you know, we've talked in the past and all that good stuff. Good dude. But yeah, he said he got it cheaper here on the U.S. Amazon than he did, and had it shipped, obviously, like I said, and had it shipped to him in Canada and got it cheaper that way. So valid idea if it's still applicable. What are we doing here? Ah, that piece needs to come up. Come on, you. Ah. Yeah, I don't like these cockpits. I just end up gluing these closed and never put the pilots in or the seats or anything like that. I never mess with that stuff on my projects. Just seems like such a waste. There we go. I got that down. Pull this guy out. There we go. Put that, fold you back up, and now we can get this. Now we can get that to slide on. There we go. All right. So, like I said, we're gonna leave that piece as is because this is a small piece, and I don't want to muck this up with already more detail than those two notches here. So we're just gonna set that off to the side right quick. This, however, we are definitely going to do some more stuff too. We're gonna do something with this gap here. Probably pull down a box scribe here real quick on it. What do we got? We're looking at 4 millimeters. So let's get 4 millimeters dialed in here. I think this is a 4 millimeter piece here. We're going to use this for a guide. Yep, that's 4. Cool. But let's get a smaller, thinner piece here because we want to be careful. That's a little bit too big. Bingo. There we go. All right. So we're just going to use this as a spacing strip here to pull a perfect 4 millimeter measure from the blade to the block. So now what we're going to do is find our Dymo tape here. Ba-ching! And we need to square up the end. Chop that real quick. Throw that off to the side. And that should be 4 millimeters on the dot. Let's measure it up to our gap here. That's just a little wide. Just a little wide. So we're going to set that off to the side. We're going to keep that scrap piece of Dymo. We're going to move the block in ever so slightly. And we're going to cut another piece of Dymo here. Push that out of the way. And now this should hopefully be perfect. Bingo. Sweet. That's what we wanted. So we're going to remove the backing paper here. Let's get that removed there. Toss that. Get this lined up here on the piece. And like I said, we're just going to pull a very simple box scribe on this. And I want it to go down pretty far, but not all the way down. There. I think that looks pretty good. And we're about 3/4 of a millimeter from the bottom. That looks, oh, it's lined up, yeah. Pretty good. I'd say so. Let's go with that, shall we? All right. Get our 1.15 here. Let's start pulling some lines. Okay. Real nice and easy. Let the chisel do the work. All right. Almost done with these sides here. Need to extend these past the tape just a bit to accommodate the bottom scribe. Okay. And now all we have to do is connect these two. Okay, so now we've got a nice, simple box scribe here on this particular piece, and that looks really nice and even. Let's just go back in here, clean this up, deepen these lines just a wee little bit. Nice and even. So one other thing that we do is we need to, obviously we've scribed the box on this surface here. We need to wrap those around and make the lines terminate on this side here. So we need to pull the lines around the corner inside of this gap to make them disappear properly. Because you just can't end them sitting on the surface, because that just doesn't look right. So if you wrap them around the surface, then that's going to give a better illusion of separation. And that's what scale modeling is about. It's all about illusion. Illusion of scale, illusion of separation, all that good stuff. Okay, tiny little part here. All right, let's see what we've got here. We're going to get a super zoom here on this, and I'll show you this box scribe here real quick. And let's see, let's get our little zoom box there, 5x, bada boom. And there she is. There's our box scribe. Looks pretty good. Easy peasy. And as you can see, we've wrapped those. Let me get my pointer out so it's easier here for you guys. We've wrapped these scribe lines around this surface and basically to the back of this part. So that now gives a better illusion of this is a separate piece from the overall piece, right? Obviously, there's still some more sanding and cleanup to do, but that is the general look of this little cockpit piece. So, really good stuff there. So let's get out of super zoom. And so let's marry all this up here real quick and see what that looks like. Mock this up for the final time tonight. Like that. That goes down. Oops. Did I do it in the wrong order? No, okay. That was angled badly. Alright, so there now is that piece with that new little box scribe right down there at the bottom. There it is. There's the light. So, easy peasy, right? Easy peasy. All right, let's get over to one camera. Let's finish this out. Let's get caught up with the chat real quick first, shall we? Let's see who we've got here. Let's see. Gamer Buzz says, I just had to put the damn stickers on and not build a new kit. You and your stickers, man. William Williams, don't lie, Gamer Bud. You're already looking at another kit to build after the Zeta. It's probably true. He says, I may be looking for a new kit to replace this one if I can't get those legs even. Yeah, that's a tough break, man. Breaking that leg, that's not a good situation. Not at all. Andrew Young says you can drill a hole into the ball joint, get a metal rod inserted into the hole, glue some super glue, and your peg is fixed. Yeah. You know, if that's I might have missed it. If that's the case, then yeah, you know, rodding that ball joint peg is definitely the way to go. I'd probably not go super glue though, because you're gonna find that's a lot more brittle. I'd probably go with a solvent glue just to meld those two pieces together as best as possible. But definitely a metal rod of some sort to join the two pieces, if that's the case, right? If that's the case. All right, cool. So, looks like we're good over on Facebook. Let's see. Let's double check. Yeah, cool. All right, we're good on Facebook. Looks like we've got a few people watching over there. Looks awesome. Oh, it's not the peg. It's the transformable Zeta leg / hip joint. It might be different. It might be different on the real grade, because I'm just used to the master grade, so I don't know. But yeah, if you can reinforce it somehow, either with a small metal rod or even some plastic strip or something like that, like thin plastic strip, then you might want to go that way. Just a thought. So good luck to you, man. Sucks if you can't fix it. And if worse comes to worse, try to source out the part on like one of the Facebook sales groups. You never know. You never know. Might get lucky, right? So, all right, let's finish up. Win this model, Gunpla Talk fundraiser. It goes to a good cause. No minimums. One lucky donor will win that model. That actual one, right? We're going to have a new episode of Gunpla Talk tomorrow with a special guest, Aaron Simons. He popped in to say hi a little bit earlier, and he's the 2018 Australia GBWC champion. So please join us tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. Hit up Zaku Aurelius's YouTube channel and find the show link there. That's going to give you your local time if you're any place else in the world. And please do try to join us. It's a good time. And there's always a lot of people chatting over there on YouTube. It's a fun time. It really, really is, because they just chat and chat and chat. And sometimes we'll take questions and things like that. It's fun. It's fun. And especially to see it live. It's a good time. So definitely check us out tomorrow morning on Gunpla Talk, because I'm going to be rocking the Chisel Discipline shirt tomorrow morning. Yeah, came out real nice too. I can't wait to show you guys. I would have shown you tonight, but it's in the wash, like I said. So got to get it nice and soft. So I build giant robots. You can get this on the Child of Mecha store. Hit up childofmecha.com. If you're interested in any of these tools or the book that we reviewed a little bit earlier, you can hit up the Amazon link just below in the description on YouTube and on Facebook. The whole curated page there with a bunch of tools, bunch of books, inspirational stuff for your next project, and just a really good collection of things that you may not have even realized that was out there. So pretty much everything that I use here is on there, except for maybe the chisels and stuff. But pretty much everything else is going to be in that link. So very, very valuable resource if you are in need of tools. What else? I think that's it. I think it is. So, with that being said, guys, we're going to see you tomorrow morning on Gunpla Talk, but we're going to be back here live on Monday night, same time. So, why don't you stop by and join us, shall we? All right. So, good night, guys. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there.